Jason Mewes, star of Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, and the podcast Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, is now on tour. He's bringing Jay Mewes and his amusing stories to Zanies and Rosemont for 4 shows, November 10th and the 11th. Jay, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's exciting. Like I was just saying, to be back in Chicago, back at Zanies, and doing my amusing stories. It's been it's been great to be able to uh start doing the amusing stories. It's not something I planned on doing. Definitely I guess it's sort of stand-up comedy. It's stand-up comedy storytelling. And it's always a blast. So
Are these the stories like when you're with your friends or when you're on set, like something that everybody kind of shares and reminisces together that you're going to let everybody kind of in on some of these inside stories?
I try to, I try to split it up to where there's a little bit of like growing up, some old stories from way back with Kevin, like meeting Kevin and all that. Then I try to mix in some stories that are newer. It's so crazy because for a while, like Kevin and I, for example, did Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, and a lot of those stories were older stories or more recent stories before I was married. And then we'd always touch on some things, newer. But I've been with my wife 17 years, and I have an 8-year-old and a 8-month-old. So a lot of time there's not a lot of craziness or anything going on now with friends and going out and doing stuff. I mean, not that I don't ever go out and do stuff, but I'm just saying a lot of my time is spent with my family. So I tell little stories about my family, funny things with my wife, funny things about the kids, and I try to like mix it all up. It's like a little bit of, a couple stories from being, a couple things on different stories about the movies. Like last show I did, I told one of my favorite stories about being on Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. So it depends really on, stuff like that. And if I'm in a city that something fun happened, I'll try to throw that in there. Like I've been to Chicago a bunch of times. I used to go all the time for Chicago Comic Con. So I've been trying to think of some funny stories that have happened there during those years of going to Comic Con, like many years ago, like 25 years ago. So yeah, so I try to mix it up and give a little bit of everything. Tell stories about younger Jason Mewes, more recent dad Mewes, actor Mewes, I guess all of that. So
I mean, just speaking of dad Mewes, I mean, 8-month-old in the house. Tell me a little bit how is the baby sleeping, new foods, crawling. How's dad life going at this stage?
yeah, it's been, it actually, like, I realized when they're younger, when he was a couple months old, we got lucky. He's really good at sleeping, and my wife, be honest, I get sleep, my wife wakes up. My wife has always been a light sleeper, and even more so the motherly instinct, I guess you call it. She hears the baby cry and she wakes right up. I sleep right through it. Every once in a while, like 1 out of 5 times, she'll wake me up and go, "Hey, can you go try to put him back to sleep?" The first few months, we got lucky. He would, she'd wake up, feed him. He'd go right back to sleep, wake up, feed him. And then he would sleep through the night, and she'd feed him once. But he's teething right now. And it's so crazy. He got his 2 teeth here. But what's crazy is this didn't happen with our daughter. She got her 2 teeth, then her 2 teeth, and then the two next to them. But he is getting all 4 teeth up here at once. So he's been waking up. He's not been wanting to sleep.
Ugh.
So, at 8 months, it's like, you would think he'd be sleeping better, but he's not really sleeping so well right now. And yeah, it's been a change, just as we started getting into a nice routine with my daughter. Like, I get up, I cook her breakfast, get her ready for school, drop her off at school. We know we have till 3 o'clock to like take care of this or that for the house or whatever it might be. But now it's coming back, and I try to give my wife a break because she'll have him all morning while I'm getting everything done, bringing my kid Logan to school and stuff. And I might run a couple errands, but then I'll come back, take him so she can, take a shower, get a break and all that. So yeah, it's been a little bit crazy. And then, he's not crawling than he is. So then we realize, all right, now he's crawling. So we got to make sure that everything's safe, and everything's picked up off the floor and all that stuff. So it's just like one thing after another as time is, he's going to be walking soon. He's already pulling himself up on stuff at 8 months. So we know he's going to be walking soon. And then we're really going to have to like pick things up that are on top of the table, or right now we can't reach them. But like each stage, it's like you got to adapt to it. So yeah, it's like, and again, in June I turned 50, and yeah, it takes getting used to again. It's like readjusting to everything all over it. And then I got my 8-year-old who now, it's so crazy because I thought I'd have to 12, 13 before she wanted to start wearing crop tops and cared about what she dressed like. And, it was so cute when she was 3, 4, 5 years old. I'd buy her little unicorn dresses and she'd be happy. I'd put her tiara on and bring her to school. She'd be so happy. And she'd eat anything, Now it's like, I don't want to eat that. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't want to wear that. Like, it's already at 8 years old. It's starting. It's,
I don't think it gets any better. I think it's just going to
I
skyrocket from here. I think this is just like the beginning part.
Oh, I know. And again, I thought I had to like 12, 13 to worry about the clothes, about being fussy about things. And then of course, eventually worrying about boys. I mean, I don't know. It's all happening very quickly. So,
and especially like with your 8-year-old, I'm sure maybe some of her parents are fans of yours or grew up watching the movies. Is it like parent teacher conference, or maybe when you're walking, with her or out with her at a restaurant, like do people come up to you and does she understand like how you have this like cult following?
Yeah, I don't think she knows the extent of it, but she's getting to know more and more, because it used to always be, why does that guy come up, ask for a picture? Why does that guy want a picture? Why is this person talking to you? Do you know him? Is he your friend? And she's starting to understand now, but she doesn't know that like she knows Uncle Kevin and I work together and stuff, but she doesn't get that people have been watching it for so long and all that. School's normal because she goes to a French school. We're super happy with it. And she's learning French, how to write, read, and she's been going there since pre-K. But it's funny because at that school there's like executives of Universal going there. Their kids go to school there. There's a couple actresses from TV shows you would know. So it's like almost normal. Like a bunch of the kids, their parents are in the entertainment world. Some of them are lawyers. Some of them, So at school it sort of seems a little more normal. But yeah, on the street she's still. More and more she's getting it though, but she used to really be confused. Why do you know that guy? Do you know that girl? Why'd they come up and say hi to you and start talking to you? So
we're also coming up on Halloween time. Do you get it in the neighborhood? People dressed up as Jay and Silent Bob, or people sending you, tagging you on social media, like check out my costumes?
Oh, definitely not in our. It'd be awesome if we just moved to a neighborhood a year ago. Where we used to live, it stinks because growing up for me, I'd go out my door and everyone in the neighborhood, you go to every house in town on each street and you get loads of candy, everyone dressed up. But I'm in a city now, and so we used to have to drive somewhere and go to like one street. But the cool thing is now we just moved into a new neighborhood last year, and they block off like 3 blocks. And we walked last year we walked around the neighborhood. And it was really safe and it was cool. We went to a bunch of houses, but I didn't get lucky. It would be awesome if we saw a Jay and Bob walking our street, but I definitely get the posts on Instagram when I do conventions or my amusing stories. People will show me pictures. Look what I went as Halloween this year or last year, and that's always awesome because it's not only Jay and Bob, like people will come up with like Bluntman and Chronic, or 2 girls will dress up as Jay and Bob or their kids. And it's really awesome to see the creativity of people and what they do with the Jay and Bob, Bluntman and Chronic, and stuff like that. So,
and then I guess as far as like the years go by, Clerks came out in the mid '90s. Do you ever take a moment to reflect, like, oh my goodness, I've become such a part of so many people's families and quotes. Like I think people say even the number 37, and you can't say the first words out of your mouth are in a row. Like even
Yeah,
numbers,
yeah.
quotes, like everything. Like you guys have been become such a big part of pop culture.
No, it is. It's always, I love seeing, not only like there's a few things that always get me is one, it's like, yes, I love like I'll be at a convention and a 75-year-old woman will come up and she'll be with her daughter who's in their 40s, and then they'll be with their kids who are 15, and they've passed it on to one generation to the next, and that's always awesome and so surreal to me, like, oh my gosh, 30 years that we've been doing this, and people are passing it from one generation to the next, and it's lasted this many years. That, and I love, I always get to hear, not always, but I hear at least at once each convention about how when people, military men or women over in Iraq, Afghanistan, and how, the movies, not all of them maybe, but even, hey, we're allowed to have 4 movies on our base. And Jay and Silent Bob Strike Backs was one of them, or Mallrats, or, and it's awesome. And they're like, it helped us smile and get through the bad times and stuff. And I always think that's awesome to like hear from someone who, like, I can't imagine sitting in a tent out over in Afghanistan or Iraq for however many months, and it being not fun or miserable, whatever it is, but they're saying, hey, you're able to put a smile on our face, your movies, your character. And I always think that's awesome. So it's surreal, man. That's surreal. Like I said, people passing it on from one to, I stream on Twitch, and I've been doing it for about 3 years. And I have like a 10-year-old that pops in, and his mom, was a fan of the movies and passed it on to him. And, he hasn't seen all the movies because he can't watch them yet, but he watches me play Fortnite and Call of Duty. And he's seen the animated series. He goes to the comic book store because he's a huge comic book reader. And it's awesome. He's 12 years old. And we have, like I said, we have women that are in their 80s, they're men in their 80s, and it's fantastic. So
that's awesome. Well, I can't wait for you to come to Chicago. You're going to come here November 10th and the 11th, 4 shows at Zanies in Rosemont, rosemont.zanies.com. I mean, you've been coming here to the Wizard World, Fan Expo Chicago, movies pop up during the pandemic, Zanies. So
yeah.
we love, you have such a strong connection to Jersey. We love having you here in the Chicagoland area.
I love it, man. Thank you. I can't wait. It'll be a blast. And I know this is for that, but I also want to mention, if anyone, we're speaking about the movies and everything, I'm excited for the first time ever. I'm going on a cruise. Kevin and I are putting on a Jay and Silent Bob's Cruise Askew. We're going to be doing a cruise from Miami to Nassau, Bahamas, February 23rd to 26th next year. Jason Lee will be there, Ethan Suplee, Brian Holleran, Jeff Anderson. We're going to be doing podcasts. We're going to be doing our stand-up comedy. There's going to be live music. Soul Asylum will be there playing some music from the Clerks soundtrack. I don't know. I'm excited. I've never been on a cruise. And we're going to not only be doing a cruise from Miami to Bahamas, but there's going to be all these things going on, poker tournaments and things like that for prizes. There's going to be a movies pop-up. So check it out. If you get a chance, anyone, come to the cruise and come to Zanies to see this face. Remember this face. No, I'm kidding.
I hope there's also
awesome.
going to be a costume contest that, as well, too.
I know, but that's a great idea. I don't know if that's in the works, but we need to do that. I like it.
And maybe a karaoke berserker contest.
Oh, definitely. That'd be awesome too.
Okay,
oh,
I gotta get
berserker. You gotta go. You gotta go. It'll be fun.
No, I gotta go. I gotta get my tickets right now. That's awesome. I gotta look this cruise up.
Oh.
Great time. Oh my goodness. Jay, thank you so much for your time today, and we'll see you in Chicago soon.
Definitely. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.